I want to tell you all a little secret. I was watching TV one day, just scrolling through the channels. I came across a news article discussing El Chapo's children and that they were flaunting their money and their cars and their flashy lifestyles on social media. This is kind of the beginning of social media that I was intrigued. So what did I do? I seeked out those social media accounts. They gave the names of the social media accounts straight away on the news. They literally gave you that information, how to reach them. They gave out their contact information. So I personally, you know, messaged and did whatever I possibly could to just get their attention. There's two brothers, and I just wanted to get their attention. Just if I could get their attention for even 5 minutes, I could possibly be part of the cartel myself. So the one brother would never hear me out, never talk to me, never gave me the time of day. But one brother, after a little bit of boosting and bragging about some things that I'd like to do in the world, I wasn't really doing them. But after talking to him and kind of boosting my name up a little bit, he gave me pretty much my end to anything I ever wanted when it comes to the cartel or protection or narcotics in any means. He gave me a contact info, and I was with a man from California. So what I do is I set up a trip to California. Pretty much said it was just a school trip, looking at different schools, and I was just going to go on vacation. But in reality, I had a meeting with this guy who El Chapo's son directed me to, and this guy would talk to me about, you would go from here to here and do this and that, on this regular basis, and we'll pay you this much every so often or whatever. So we worked out some agreement, and I really didn't have nothing to even, disagree with or barter with. I didn't have nothing to bring to the table. I just kind of had to say, yes, sir, when can I start? And pretty much that's how it went, and I just did what they told me to do, and I put my head down and did everything they told me to do, and I started doing a lot for them, to be honest. Like, in my opinion, I was moving stuff all across the country on a regular basis. I mean, sometimes I would go back and forth across the country 3 times in 1 week. We had operations in Arizona, California, Chicago, Florida, Detroit, Ohio, Iowa, Indiana. We were all over. And it probably branched out to even further, but that was just my reach. That was the people that I was directly connecting with and running operations, and with just the amount of product that I was bringing back and distributing myself. And I would do this on a weekly basis. I was moving serious weight. So people talk about it in the streets like, I'm the one, or I did this, or I did that. Well, I know the majority, if not any of you, have ever seen $1 million cash. I have plenty of times. Most of you have never seen 100 keys. I have plenty of times. Most of you do not know or have any way to connect to anyone in a real cartel. I can easily. Should I be bragging about this stuff? Should I be talking about it on social media? Should I make a video about it and tell the world? Well, it's my story and it's the truth. And this is where I came from. This is part of the reason Infinite Hustle is going to be so big. This is the reason I have so much ambition for Infinite Hustle, because of where I was at. I worked with the biggest of the best, and now I'm in a totally different ballgame, and I want to do that same exact thing. I want to bring that level that I had in the drug game to the video and the content creator game and, my audio game. So I worked for these guys for probably 2 or 3 years, Uh, it was weekly, it like clockwork. Everything ran very smoothly. There was no interference with the police. Everything was on par. They knew exactly how to run their operation. They're very smart, and they either paid off the police or the feds, or they did something, but they ran things so smoothly. I never worried even once. So, but after some time, you know, I live in a city that only has 28,000 people. So I knew the reality of my operation was going to be minimal unless I move to a bigger city or let somebody else kind of take over what I was doing. And that's kind of what I ended up doing, was just I kind of gave up my position and let my buddy in Detroit have it. I'll tell his first name, but you'll never know his last name. I don't even know his last name. It's Craig. Craig from Michigan. If you're watching this, what's up, buddy? Global Cartel. But so I gave my plug to Craig. I said, this is my man. This is my guy I ran my weed operation with, my grow operation with in Detroit. Like, you can trust this guy to do everything I ever did. He's 100%. You know what I mean? Like, this is the guy that I would appoint to do anything you need done. So they started messing with Craig, and Craig took over what I was doing, and I pretty much fell back because I thought the same thing that happened to my uncle was going to happen to me. Like, when my uncle was moving serious weight, as soon as he stopped, the feds came and took him away to federal prison 2 years later. So I figured, like, I'm going to stop, I'm going to wait this 2 years, and if they don't take me to prison, I'm good. But if they come knocking on my door, like, I'm going to have a bunch of side stories, a bunch of, like, ways and loopholes to get out of it. You know what I mean? So that was my time to figure out how I can get out of things that I've created during that 2 years. After that 2 year period, though, nothing ever happened. The feds never came. My door never got kicked in. I never got subpoenaed to court. Like, nothing. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? The one thing that I did lose was my ability to directly connect to top officials and ranking members of the organization. But that's probably a good thing. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily need to communicate with them. I can send a kite to the prison systems and it can get passed along to the right person, and eventually my message is given to the person it needs to be given to. You know what I mean? Like, my second in command for my whole operation was in prison the entire duration of my drug operation. Literally. Was like literally in charge of 50% of everything I was doing, and he was in prison. I talked to him maybe once every 3 months. And he was the boss. Like, he was running shit in his prison and potentially numerous prisons. But it was just because he had that name and he was affiliated with that particular organization, the cartel, so no one could touch him in the system. So he ran, tobacco, weed, and all these random little smaller ventures in the prison systems, and he made bank in there. I mean, he was a boss status in there, no problem. But this is the reality of the world, and you come to a point where you got to make choices, and you got to stick with what you've been doing, or you got to go down a different path. And I figured it was time to elevate, and we had to do something different. So I started thinking, of ways that we could end this on a positive note. So I figured, maybe we could, create similar businesses that are just as lucrative and other type of niches, or we could go after the economy, or we could start hacking. We were going to go a lot of different directions. And to be honest, I just took a step back and started studying spirituality and religion and a lot of things about finding and centering yourself. Because during that whole time of my, drug operations and business, I was trying to become somebody that I really wasn't. And that was the, the big dog of the streets. I mean, I might have been that person, but that's not for me. That's not what my life's goal was meant to be. My life's goal was to do something positive for this world and show people what I'm really capable of. So I just want people to understand, like, when I say that I'm going to do big things, I hope they realize that I went from doing some of the biggest things that you could ever think of to giving it all up to recreate my journey in life, on the internet. And I want to teach you how I did it. I don't know the whole entire path and all the steps down the journey that I'm facing right now. I can't give you all the tips and tricks to being successful on what I'm doing today. But if I put forth half the effort that I did, before, I guarantee the results that you're going to see are just truly phenomenal. And I'll be able to benefit and help anyone who encounters my channel or my brand. So take it from me, if you're in that life and you want to get out, let me know. Hit me up on social, hit me up on YouTube. Maybe we can work together and do something very beneficial, and benefit and affect our lives even better. So, like I said, learn from the best and follow the footsteps of the best. But if you don't expect to be a drug dealer for the rest of your life, get out right now. Wait your 2 years, and if you made your 2 years, thank God that you're not in prison and you can see your family. You can walk outside your house. You have the ability to choose what kind of food you eat, and you're not forced to be thrown into a 9x9 room on a daily basis with the only thing available to you being a Bible. I skipped that part of my life. Thank God for my Uncle Joe's hardship and his stint in prison. I think the time that he spent in prison really gave me the upper hand to avoid prison, even though I made the same mistakes as he did and even took it to the next level. But he was part of the cartel as well, and I wanted to be just like him, and I became part of the cartel. And the thing is they never knew my real name, not once. I introduced myself as somebody totally different. I worked for the cartel for nearly 3 years under a fake identity. I ruled my city, sold countless amounts of drugs, and made probably millions of dollars, and disappeared like nothing even happened. And now I still reside in my hometown, and I'm not scared. I'm not hiding from anybody. Most of these people out there can't say that, and most of these people out there will never do what I did. That's my story, and that's the extent of some crazy life experiences that are turning around into some very beneficial dreams and very big outlooks on the things that I can do because of what I've already done. I know where I've been and where I come from, and I'm doing my best to change. But we created the ability to start a global cartel, and I don't know if I can let that pass. With social media and our interconnection between the gangs, prisons, and society as a whole, it's hard for us not to just run our operation and our business and expand it on a global scale. If we call ourselves the global cartel, everyone else is fucked. And I might even be the leader of that cartel someday. But like I said, they don't know my name. They don't know where I'm at, who I am, what I'm doing, nothing. I pop in their lives when I need to. I ask for their help when it's needed. But my life is invisible to any unwanted attention or any unnecessary attention. We are the global cartel. We are in your prisons. We are in your cities. We are on your computers. We are on your phones. We are affiliated with nearly everybody who wants radical change in this world. And we can make anyone's dreams come a reality. Don't believe the shit you hear on the streets. You'd be surprised what a real hustler keeps in his sheets.